Astrology friends, these are your June 2023 video horoscopes with me, Lada from Astrolada.com. And June we have a very monumental event, Jupiter conjunct the North Node. That's a manifestation of wishes combination. I mentioned it in some videos that this combination was when the king would gather its priests to pray to the gods, because they believe that when Jupiter is with the North Node, the prayers of humanities are heard and reach God more. So now it's time to dream big or to pray more because some wishes will come true. And there's some other important events that I'll talk about. But first I want to tell you that me and Trifon are doing a course on June the 10th and the 11th on the 100 fixed stars, most important according to ancient sources, how they play out in the natal chart, what it means to you. You can read the horoscope just using fixed stars, nothing else. That's how I read most horoscopes. And I'm starting a new big offer throughout the whole summer, every 3 weeks. Anyone who wants to learn astrology, I'll be recommending a few courses, foundational and more advanced, about a certain topic that are the essential courses, because we have more than 300 astrology courses. So I'll be recommending which are the best for certain topics, and every month I'll do a live Q&A with everyone who takes those courses. You can ask me, we can do more than one Q&A, so you can learn astrology with me, and there'll be big discount on the bundles of those courses on different topics. We start with astrology of relationships. Check it out. I'll put a link below. You can check on my website. There will be updated courses every 3 weeks, and then the discount disappears. But I will be throughout you the whole summer with every new person that joins for any questions on this process of learning with me, because we have incredible courses from incredible astrologers, and mine, of course, always will be present there. Thank you. Let's start. Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, June 2023. Aries, the month starts immediately with the influence of the Jupiter North Node conjunction, which happens every 7 years only. And it's going to be happening, you might feel it already from May, but it will be active pretty much the whole June. Whatever I'm talking about can happen. And that's happening in your second house. Jupiter is the king of abundance and the planet of expansion, and Rahu, the North Node, is the planet of magnifying things and material manifestation. So when these two come together, often the universe will give us something very material, something that external that we desire in particular. It's quite a gainful combination. Actually, the ancients said that when Jupiter and the North Node get together, your prayers are heard more. So the kings would organize prayers particularly, because Jupiter is also prayers and the higher self, and Rahu intensifies that. So maybe it's time for fulfilling of wishes. And in your case, it's affecting a second house in Taurus, which is maybe some opportunity can come up for you in regards to your finances, in regards to your resources, in regards to you to consider valuable, in regards to your assets, in regards to, it might be that you gain something very beautiful or valuable, something that you really wanted to possess, or it might be that your source of income grows in some way. It might be sometimes even a bit lucky fluke, because Jupiter has this energy of fluke. But second house is not only incoming money, it's outgoing. So Jupiter in the North Node, in some instances, can expand the spending, but it will be spending on something that is enjoyable, desirable, spending that you kind of consider that you've gained something through it. So yeah, something important can happen with your finances, resources, money, financial situation, investments as well, we can say. And I hope it's good, because Jupiter and the North Node can really expand, give more of. At the same time, the second house is also your self-worth. There can be some important developments connected to your self-worth, what you consider, how you evaluate yourself. And also the second house is food, what you put in your body, how you eat. Now here, Jupiter and the North Node can have a bit of a negative effect, where no discrimination. You know, Jupiter has no boundaries. North Node doesn't like boundaries either. So kind of, and North Node can be things that are artificial and not so healthy. So Jupiter in this North Node can, in some instances, increase appetites for some of you, sometimes in not so healthy ways. Uh, but in other ways, it can mean a strong desire and desire to learn and to embrace knowledge, because North Node is desire, Jupiter is knowledge about anything regarding food, regarding nutrition, anything regarding cooking, anything regarding dietary changes, and or to learn, and anything regarding money, finances, resources, management of such, or self-worth as well. Then the other big event is that's probably the most big event, the most important one this month. But there are a few others. Then on the 6th, Venus will enter in Leo, which is your 5th house, and it will stay there till October. Very long time, 3-4 months almost, because Venus will become retrograde there. And this is very good for Aries because it's in a lucky house for them. It's a house of good karma. Venus loves it according to ancient astrology to be in the 5th house. And 5th house is the house of pleasure, entertainment, having fun, enjoying yourself. So you get the fair share of that more than normal, because usually Venus stays just for a month in a house. But this time it will stay in the house of entertainment, having fun, enjoying yourself for 3 to 4 months. So you would really have an opportunity here to reevaluate how you have fun, to discover new alternative ways to enjoy yourself, or go back to when Venus goes retrograde to ways that used to make you happy. And it will be also big influence on your love life. For some of you, it can mean truly, especially Leo rising, people with more planets in Leo, Aries rising, people with more planets like a stellium in Aries, or Moon in Aries. It can mean love life, falling in love, if you're single, even if you're not. And because Venus goes retrograde for a little bit in August, for a month and some time, it can also be someone from the past coming for you. But the new beginnings, you start seeing them from the moment Venus enters this 5th house. So some important developments will start happening in regards to your love life. Maybe someone can enter then. But we'll speak what happens when Venus goes retrograde later. It will be more like reevaluating, taking a break in the summer, towards August, and taking not a break but a step back to see, is this the right thing, to rethink it and even deepen it for some of you. But definitely it can be very passionate for your romantic love life, and Mars is already there from the beginning of June, another planet of passion and desire. And it can be really exhilarating, even if it's not to do with love. You might be married, you might just have more fun right now. You can discover fun in the coming months. You can put more passion into how you enjoy life. You can into your hobbies, discover new exciting things to do as well. And you can put yourself more out there in central role. And this is one of the houses of laughter, entertainment. So expect more of that. And if you're a creative person, if you have to create content, say for your website, content for your business, content for painting, drawing, it might be mental, it might be physical, it might be ideas, whatever it is, you will be kind of with Mars and Venus here. There will be a lot of creative juices flowing, not just in June, but for 3-4 months ahead with Venus there. And you're working on something that you love. You're gonna start working on something that you're, maybe like a new creative idea can come to you, new passion, or some passion of yours that you have that you might try and turn it into business over the next few months, or to grow it into something more important. But some project is coming here. And then the 5th house is your children. Of course, with Mars there, they can be a bit more rambunctious and excitable for a month and a half while Mars is there, but Venus definitely smooth things up. It shows that children can be a big focus. Some of you might get pregnant while Venus is in this 5th house, because Venus is very fertile. Others can have some good developments over the next 3-4 months, and important ones with their children, connecting more, for example. Their child might have a good stage in their life of some we'll talk what it means when the Venus goes retrograde. It can be a bit like reevaluating the relationship, changing some aspect there. But all in all, this Venus in the fifth house is really beautiful. I remember I had it when I got married years ago. It was 8 years ago, not more than 8 years, sorry. It was there in 2014. So what is that? 9 years ago, something like that. I got married the first time, but I had a fantastic summer. I got in touch with people that I loved with all my heart from before. It was very, very beautiful time. I hope the same for you. Look back, because if Venus is making hard aspects from Leo, depending on your horoscope, it might be a little bit more challenging time, but usually because it's making good aspect to your planet, to your sun or moon or ascendant in Aries, it should be supporting overall for you. And so yeah, these are the themes over the next 4 or 5 months that will be going well. You can plan anything to do with celebrations, party, performances, entertainments, anything to do with children's events can go great. Anything to do with creative performance, ideas that you have to be original, that you have to create something flowing. These things go really well there. Already in June, starting after the 6th when Venus joins. Then on the 12th, we have Pluto going back to Capricorn, where it was since 2008. For the whole world, when Pluto ingresses a sign, makes big ripples and changes, like when it ingressed into Aquarius. Some of the biggest banks in the USA collapsed a couple months ago. Now it's going back into Aquarius, let's see, into Capricorn. But on a personal level, I'm not going to speak about the world, but on a personal level, it will go there till the end of the year. So it's kind of, especially the very late born Aquarius might feel again the tension, like if you're Aries, if you're 27, 28, 29 degrees of Aries, anything, sun, moon, or ascendant, Pluto can again tighten it a little bit. Pluto is it's kind of like a big pressure on the astral body. It's kind of almost like detoxifies the astral body, so it squeezes it and it can feel like too intense. But let's just speak generally for the areas, because we can't speak just for the last 2-3 degrees. There is some unfinished job, something that you might have started from before, connected to your career, something from the past connected to your career, connected to people in authority, some unfinished business. And it's something that you react very powerfully, very intensely. It can be something that when it's finished really empowers you, puts you in a higher position yourself. Or it can be something that is taking your power away and that you have to go back to confront. And it's connected again to parental figure, authority figures, your career goals, your worldly actions. Or it just might mean that you have some work to finish, or some job from the past is coming back, some worldly responsibility that you have to complete and finish, and you have till the end of the year pretty much. So then on another, of course, again, that can intensify power struggles with authorities, father figures, but also it can intensify the ambition, the worldly ambitions of a person as well. But it's like one last crunch where you can do something big, Then on the 18th, we're going to have Saturn turning retrograde in your 12th house. Oh, I didn't put Saturn here. I'm sorry, Saturn, I'll put you. No disrespect to you. Well, it's in Pisces. It got lost, that's the energy of Pisces. Pisces turning retrograde at 7 degrees in your 12th house. So it's the first time in 30 years Saturn is turning retrograde in your 12th house. And it will be the first out of 3 times more over the next 2-3 years. So when Saturn turns retrograde, it becomes more intense. It demands more from us. And it's 12 houses, all kind of things from the past that we have to say goodbye, that are just a burden on us. And Saturn starts the separating process with those old things. And usually it's addictions, usually it's vices, usually it's things that weaken us, that we succumb to, that we self-sabotage ourselves with. Or it doesn't have to be even something bad. It it can be something that was good for us in the past, sometimes like an addiction or a medicine or a friendship can be helpful for its time, but usually evil, or what we consider as something negative, is something that it has outgrown its time, and it's acting in a time that we no longer need it, then it does damage. So whatever those things that you have outgrown and you no longer need, now they do damage. Usually they turn into vices and so on. But it might be people, events, situations. Little by little, Saturn in the 12th house, especially when it turns retrograde, starts chipping away at them. And I know that we might try to hold on for dear life, like someone who is drowning holding a straw. But it's time to let go. Do it at the first time, so the next 2 years Saturn is in your 12th house, it will be easy. But you can start the process now. Sometimes it takes the whole 3 years to let go of whatever Saturn is trying to chip away from your life, because it's in a closing chapter. It's completing something that, as I said, has been something, and it's usually things that stand for your subconscious that are holding you back, something from the past. The 12th house is connected even to past lifetimes, or to that part of us that is in the subconscious that has happened, that we have forgotten about, that we have buried. 12th house, you don't see it, kind of. And Saturn is starting to, let's say, trying to till that ground, trying to, to little by Saturn it's like a cleaner, starting to clean that terrain of our subconscious, so it can stir some muck psychologically, emotionally. You can start feeling, especially it's like people who are prone to depression because of certain things that have happened in the past. These depressive circumstance inclinations might increase more when Saturn turns retrograde. Those addiction prone and self-sabotaging behaviors as well, or escapist behaviors, can amplify when Saturn turns retrograde, but only they're ramping up only so we can recognize them more. And now Saturn will give us the persistence and consistency to deal with them. It's not going to be overnight that you wake up and you're free from that. It requires work and consistency. It just, some people have like miraculous recoveries and they like, oh, that's it, everything, this is gone. With Saturn it can come back and then start again and come back. There's like this Saturn, it takes repeated effort, so just to prepare psychologically what the energy of Saturn is. But by the end of that period, in a few months, some of you might truly be free from a lot of underwater stones of their subconscious. So a lot of internal work is happening here. So you have the green light areas to become more introspective, to turn within. And not only that, you'd feel the desire to do this, to recapitulate the past, to look at the past. Certain spontaneous memories can come up, and this is some kind of a natural cleaning process that Saturn is doing in your subconscious. Or you can even work with some kind of, you can integrate some meditative practice, which is very much like having a psychologist, practice of self-observation, practice of recuperating, writing down. This is internal work that Saturn in the 12th house wants to do, because it wants to free you from something. It wants to free you from something that's holding you a prisoner. This is what the 12th house is. Again, you have 2.5 years of this, but now when it goes retrograde, it goes very intense. And then also the 12th houses, Saturn in the 12th houses can indicate not only internal work, but some important work that's starting to happen in regards to foreign relocation, that you need to put extra efforts in anything regarding faraway places, some important job or work that you need to double down on and work extra hard in regards to hospitals, in regards to foreign places, in regards to some deep research or studies as well, because the 12th house on a spiritual level gives us very deep understanding, and Saturn starts doing kind of the digging out there. Many times people prepare studying for something, researching when Saturn goes retrograde as well. But of course, the 12th house, Saturn in extreme conditions, it can put us in more restriction in some way, like in more isolation, some kind of a jail situation that you feel in, and that you have to be okay, because something, it's you put like the cocoon stage of the butterfly, the pillow turning into butterfly. Saturn in your 12th house, especially when it goes retrograde, feels like you're in this cocoon and you don't know what's gonna happen. It's kind of dark and you know something new has to happen, but you think you might be dying type of energy. Okay, sorry, went too long on that. Then on the 18th, on the same day Saturn is going retrograde, we have a new moon in Gemini. Oh, I love that light breezy energy. Something new is coming for the next 2 weeks. You can feel it. In your case, it's in your third house, new acquaintances, new contacts, new ideas regarding internet, websites, business, commercial activities, new contacts, communications, new phone, new laptop. But it's square Neptune, extremely exactly. So there might be, just keep one in mind that whatever those new things can appear, like new ideas or new acquaintance or whatever they might be with Neptune, they might be not exactly everything they look to be. There might be some kind of a deception, they're wishful thinking, it might be on your side, or it might be that there's something that they're not fully telling you. You might receive some important piece of information again, but it might not be fully what you wanted. It might be also some new beginnings, like trips that can happen, some movement. Third house is to move somewhere, that are, again, I'm not saying they'll be bad. There just might be something Neptunian there, which is a bit something you're not aware of. You're imagining it in one way, but there is things that you don't really know about. They might be even good things, but it's not exactly what you expect. So anything to do with trips, with communications, with information, with to do with websites, with internet, with business transactions. There is a renewal, there is new beginnings, but there is some kind of things behind the scene, or maybe you hear something but you don't fully know it, and so on. So there we go. That's the month for you. A lot of different bits and bobs, nothing, but that's how the month is. So if you want to take advantage of this new moon in your third house and learn something new with me, because it's the house of learning, come and join me on Astrolada's Top Picks. We'll start the first 3 weeks is love. After that will be career and so on. Come and join me on this journey where I'll be your teacher with the best recommended courses that I choose for you. Thank you.